If you'd like to add visuals, pictures, icons or shapes to a worksheet, the Insert tab in the ribbon provides us with a number of choices. For example, pictures. In files that ship with this course, you will see some pictures in Chapter 4. Here's one for the company here that makes clothing items. We want to show this in the worksheet. Just double-click it and there it is. We can move this around. We can drag its edge or just inside. If you drag one of the corner handles as they're called, you can make this bigger or smaller keeping the same proportion. Dragging the side handle sometimes distorts it or does whatever you wish with it, but you can do that too. Recognize also that when this enters the worksheet environment here, there is a new ribbon called Picture Tools with a Format tab on it. Exploring all the options here would take you a long time, but maybe I like that one. If that weren't enough, how about moving this over a little bit, maybe here, some picture effects and just tons of options you never even dreamed of. Do we really need a reflection on this? Well, we could have a reflection and make it more prominent, maybe move it back over here at some point. Tons of options, it will take you a long time to explore a lot of those. So, that's certainly one option. How about the trademark that we see over in column A? That's actually an object and we have that available also. Insert pictures, also located in the same place where we found these sneakers right there. Insert and there it is. If you're making size changes here, it's always best on logos to be using the corner so you keep that same proportion of height to width. It's generally frowned upon to distort the look of a logo, but you can certainly move that around too. You can copy and paste these and do different things with them as well. Maybe this time, we'll just put a border on it and decide on one of the borders this way. Maybe thick border. Does that look good? Well, it might or might not, as long as it doesn't violate our company's copyright restrictions regarding how this is displayed. Maybe that's going to be just fine. There are a lot of other features we can get to as well from the Insert tab. Here's an icon called Shapes. Now, there's a ton of shapes here. Many of these, in fact, most of them do encompass space. So, we might want to put text somewhere. Here's a rectangle and we can then click and drag and draw a rectangle. It could be wide, it could be tall. If we want it to be a perfect square, we hold down the Shift key. That's a perfect square. You should let go of the mouse first. If we wanted to draw a perfect circle, once again, on the Insert tab, Shapes. This time we choose an oval. Drag it to the right. It could be an oval of any size, but if we want it to be a circle, hold down the Shift key. A number of the shapes here also include yellow diamonds. They're not obvious until we see them. Let's take an example here of a hexagon, right there. We can make that any way we want, but there's a yellow diamond. If you drag the yellow diamond, that changes the diagram. It's going to be more like this, approaching a diamond or in this case, approaching a rectangle. So, we can do that. And you probably saw a smiley face out there too, just tons of choices for any number of different reasons. So we're drawing this one. That's a frown face or anything in between of course too. We can change the color of any one of these. Recognize when we select one of these, the Format tab is active in the ribbon and there are all kinds of things we might want to consider doing. As we slide over these choices, keep an eye on that hexagon, you'll see how it's changing. If we want to put text in it, we can just start typing and maybe we're going to use this with the worksheet. Maybe it's going to be our title. In fact, we might want to move this toward the title area here. Move that box out of the way, maybe press delete to get rid of it. Click this icon, perhaps delete that. Maybe we're going to use this for a title. Pop it over here, maybe make it wider. We like the look of it perhaps. Maybe this represents first half sales report. So we just type it in place. And why stop there? We'd want to format it. So if we click its border, we could then go to the Home tab and choose perhaps a much bigger font and maybe change the font, make it bold, center it, top, bottom, left, right, and so on. Just a ton of things we can do with these features. If that were not enough, there's another feature up there on the Insert tab called Insert a Smart Art Graphic. Click. And how many choices do we have here? Oh, about 230 of them. Get a list of all of them and they're broken into various groups here. One that I've worked with a little bit is under hierarchy. It's an organization chart. But why stop at one? There are quite a few variations on it. Maybe we will choose organization chart here. Click OK. It's already set up for us. Maybe we'll just type in a few things here to show you how it works. There is the CEO. Maybe this is the general counsel. Notice that as we type this, because we're using more text, it automatically adjusts. And without doing too much typing here, maybe this is the sales manager and over here is the IT manager. Now, we might want to add some things to this. I'm going to right-click on the Sales Manager here and add a shape. For example, we're going to add a shape after it to add another manager at the same level, or possibly by right-clicking on Sales Manager. Adding a shape below someone who works for the Sales Manager. Or maybe we will repeat that with F4 to add another one, and that's someone who works for this person. So there are a variety of ways to use this, and this is just one of many. As we're using this too, recognize that all of these different Smart Art options, we're likely to have a Design or a Format tab as well here. So on the Design tab, we might want to change the color of this, and as I slide over these choices, look what's happening to that organization chart. It will look even better as I slide to the right here and move this out of the way and explore some of these. If that weren't enough, we've got styles out here too. I mean, you could be busy for months exploring all these options, perhaps years. It's not the purpose of this, but you get the idea, definitely worth exploring. These visual features go on and on and on, quite a few of them. You can add text to many of these shapes you saw, or you could add pictures, you could add logos. It's a great set of tools available on the Insert tab in the ribbon.